What's going on, family? Thanks for joining us today for this week's deep dive. If I haven't met you yet, my name is Ryan Cross. I'm the campus pastor here in Victoria, and we're really excited because we have recently kicked off a brand new series. It's going to take us all the way through the summer called Cloud of Witnesses. And what this series is about is faith. It's a series all about faith and talking about and using the stories of some heroes of the faith in the Bible to champion our faith, to grow our faith, knowing that these individuals didn't live in perfect circumstances. They weren't perfect people, but they had one thing in common, which Hebrews tells us, is that they ran the race that God marked out for them, and they fixed their eyes on Jesus. So this last week, before we got into an individual story of one of these heroes, which we will throughout the coming weeks, we laid a foundation. We laid the foundation of what is faith? How do we define faith? And why is it important? I want to let you know today that for your life, the things that are going on in your life, the things that God has called you to do and who He's called you to be, you don't need more talent. You don't need more knowledge. All those things are great. We're going to grow in our gifts. We're going to seek understanding. All those things are fantastic. But what they are is they are supplements to faith. You need more faith. I need more faith. Faith is crazy. Faith is one of those things that will cause you to do things that you never thought you would do. It'll cause you to share things that you never thought that you'd be able to share, like the gospel, like your testimony, like a miracle that God has done in your life, in your heart, in your family, in your body, in your finances. And so the reason why we need faith, the reason why over the next coming weeks we're going to talk about the lives of faith of these individuals is because you and I were meant to live impactful lives. And what I'm so grateful for is that Hebrews tells us that this faith that we live by was initiated by God Himself. That everything that we see, the world even that's around us, the arena that we live in called the universe, was founded in faith. That it is the representation of an invisible God who made Himself visible through Christ. And that through Christ, like we see in the book of John, everything that was made, everything that we can see was made through Him. And so even the world that we live in is supported by and is founded in faith. And for you and for me, what I'm believing for the next couple of weeks is that the faith that God has given us is going to grow. And that faith that grows in us will first be a blessing to us, but then it will be a blessing through us. I think about Romans chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. It says this, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew, then to the Gentile," meaning first to God's original chosen people, but now to every human on earth. "For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith from first to last." I love what Paul says in other areas where he says, the thing that brought you into the family of God, the faith that you had that caused you to say yes to Jesus, to call on God as your Father, as your Creator, and Jesus as your Savior and Redeemer, that same faith is not the faith that just gets you through the door. It's the faith that now sustains your life. To not abandon the faith that brought you into the family of God, that brought you into relationship with Jesus. And this verse is alluding to the same thing, that it's the same righteousness by faith from first to last. Just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith. We're not people that are just saved by faith. We're not people that just pray in prayers of faith, wanting to get what we need or wanting to get what we desire. Faith is not just a tool. Faith is the sustainer of our lives, that we live by faith. And just like this is saying that we're not ashamed of the gospel, we're not ashamed to live lives that proclaim who God is. We're not afraid or ashamed to live lives that go beyond ourselves. This last week we talked about it as we prepare for Coastline Nanaimo, and as we prepare to even give towards it, to serve God's house, knowing that more people across our island are coming to know Him and coming into this family, that we are people that go beyond ourselves, live beyond ourselves, give beyond ourselves, serve beyond ourselves. And the thing that causes us, that enables us to do that is faith. Faith in knowing that God is calling us and He's going to sustain us. He's the author of faith, and He's also the perfecter of it. He doesn't just give you faith as the gift that gets you into salvation and then tells you not to mess it up. Well, here's faith, now go and be perfect. Or here's faith, now go and live a good life. Or keep it all together. Don't mess it up too bad. No, He says, I'm going to give you this faith. I'm going to author it in you, but then I'm going to sustain it in you. And then even better yet, I'm the finisher of your faith. So be encouraged today that God has given you faith, that He's authoring more faith in you, and that He is going to sustain you. And at the finish line, He is going to see you through. He's going to see you there. And how do we get to the finish line? The finish line for us is not to emulate these clouds, the cloud of heroes, these heroes of faith, and not to necessarily repeat their actions, but it's to emulate and to repeat their eye line. Their eye line was on Jesus. So how do we operate in faith today? We operate in it by fixing our eyes on Jesus. And so a couple things that you can take into conversation today with the people that you're doing life with is ask them, hey, what are some, or who are some heroes of faith for you? Maybe it's people from the Bible. Maybe it's a grandma who has prayed for her family for years and years and years. Maybe it's someone in the church, or maybe it's someone in your small group today. Who are some heroes of faith, and what did it look like for them to not just have faith be authored in them, but how were they able to use that and go beyond themselves and live by faith, give by faith, serve by faith, believe in faith, knowing that the faith that we have is not founded in our abilities or our actions, but it is grounded in the faithfulness of God Himself. It is His nature. It is His character that He has given each one of us as His sons and daughters. And so today, church, I pray and believe that you would be built up in your faith, that you would have hope, you would have assurance, and you would have confidence in who Jesus is. He is the visible image of the invisible God. And so we have eyes of faith today to see what we can't see in the natural. We're going to see it in the Spirit, and we're going to claim it, and we're going to move towards it. Faith is going to cause us to move and step out today, knowing that God is with us. We love you. We'll see you soon.